So, Ryan, it's prediction time.
Yep.
And you know the drill. We're going to make our predictions of this game. You're going to give us a score for the game, Ryan. And then, of course, we're going to have you tell us how you see this game playing out. So, Mr. Roberts, without further ado, give me your score for this game and how you see the game playing out.
I have Notre Dame 41, Miami, Ohio 6. I think there might be two semblances of drives from Miami, Ohio, whether it is late in the first half, late in the second half, whatever it ends up being. But I think they're going to get 2 field goals out of this conversation. Look, guys, quite simply, not going to paint a false picture or false narrative here. Notre Dame has the advantage in every category for the most part. Like, this is a better football team and more talented football team than what Miami, Ohio has. Yes, Miami, Ohio has a couple players that can cause you headaches if you let them ultimately. But the biggest matchup is Notre Dame defense versus the Miami, Ohio offense. I just don't know how Miami offense is going to consistently move the ball against Notre Dame. Like, I just don't see it. I think that this pass rush is going to be too much for the offensive line. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. I just think that the offense for Miami, Ohio is just going to not be very good during the course of this football game, which ultimately is going to lead for opportunity. I could see Notre Dame getting some more short fields in this game, whether it's off of turnovers, whether it's off of punt returns, like whatever it is, because you're pinning them back so deep offensively. And I just think that Notre Dame's offense, I don't know if I would necessarily say come to life, but I think they'll make a couple big plays in the passing game this week. I think that they'll finally get off her back a little bit. I think they're going to be able to run the football. And I just think this game's going to be utter dominance at the end of the day. So 41-6 in a blowout victory. Notre Dame covers the 28-point spread. Smash it, folks. Notre Dame minus 28. It's a lock.
That is not an endorsement coming from Irish Breakdown. That is coming from Ryan Roberts at A to Z
Sports. A to Z Sports.
I do not encourage you guys to bet on games at all, especially this kind of game. But I'm with you, Ryan, on that. If this game plays out the way you think it's going to play out, Ryan, give me your players of the game on offense and defense.
I mean, optimistically, offensively, I hope it's Riley Leonard or a wide receiver. Ultimately, I'm going to go with Riley Leonard just because you know that he's going to have a couple of big plays in the run game, and if I do think that he's going to have 1 or 2 big plays in the passing game, I'm going to assume that he probably has his best overall day as a Notre Dame quarterback so far. So I'll go Riley Leonard here. I would not be mad though if it was a Jaden Greathouse or a Chris Mitchell or a Bo Collins. Like, I would not be mad at all in that situation. But I'll go Riley Leonard offensively. Defensively, I want to say Kingston because I am all aboard the Kingston Villiamo-Asa hype train, but I'm actually going to go with Jason Onye, man. Jason Onye last week was really good. Really good, man. 1.5 tackles for loss. He deflected the pass that was intercepted by Kingston. I think Big 47 on the interior could start eating into some more reps from either Riley Mills or Howard Cross. Like, if those guys are not going to take their game up a notch.
Nose and 3 technique in his career. He could absolutely take away from both.
And if they're not playing up to their caliber of players that they are, I think 47 is a player now that is playing confidently enough where you could say, okay, like, if you're not going to give us enough, we're going to eat into your reps a little bit. And 47 is going to get on the field now more. And he is long, explosive, and he looks powerful. And he's really starting to fill out.
Fire, Ryan. Like, I said this earlier in the week, and I don't remember what show it was, Ryan, but if Riley Mills and Howard Cross, especially Riley Mills, don't figure it out fast, you're going to have a harder time justifying not giving Jason Onye a decent amount more reps, like, in a hurry. And when Gabriel Rubio comes back, that's going to be another one. So going to have to get that going. Okay, Ryan, here's my first of all, I'm with you on the outside receiver thing for players of the game. Like, that's actually my hope. My hope is that it goes to an outside receiver. My hope is that Chris Mitchell or Bo Collins or KK Smith or Jordan Faison just goes off in this game because it'll give that position group a much needed boost, in my opinion. Like, they really need that type of, okay, we're going to be okay. And Riley Leonard needs to kind of have that momentum where he builds his confidence going into next week. Like, you don't want to have your quote unquote breakout performance against Louisville because that's going to be tough to do. I like these corners. They're nice, good football players. I thought Northern Illinois had a couple good veteran football players. They are not Quincy Riley. They're not even close to Quincy Riley. And so it's a much needed confidence boost. So I'm with you on that. I hope that's the key, the victory. So I'm going, Ryan. I'm going 45-9, and I've been back and forth on this. I was 31-13 earlier in the week, just because I'm still not sold on the Notre Dame offense. I'm not sold that what we saw last week is who they're going to be. But what it came down to is something you talked about. You talked about short fields, and I think that's part of it as well. But it goes beyond short fields. I think there's going to be a lot of drives.
Right.
I think they're going to offense going to have the ball a lot, because I don't think Miami's going to be able to do a whole lot on this defense. I really don't. If they play with the same fire and tenacity they did last week, and they were sound last week, right? Not a lot of missed tackles, which we didn't expect Purdue to be a team that's going to create a lot of missed tackles. I mean, they're not that. We talked about it. They're big, they're physical, they're not real fast. And so you didn't expect to see that. There's a couple more make you miss type of guys on this group, especially Cade McDonald. So maybe you get a couple more missed tackles. But overall, this is not an offense that should necessarily give you a lot of those issues in this game.
Sure.
So I think so. My 45 points is as much about the defense as it is the offense. And I see 3 field goal drives, 2 against one against the first team defense, 2 against the second team defense in this game is kind of how I see it. I think the red zone defense is going to be very stout in this game as well, because I just don't know that Miami has the scheme or the playmakers to necessarily put balls in the end zone unless they can find ways to get Cade McDonald free in space. That's, I think, their best chance to have success there. So I just think the offense could end up sputtering a little bit early and still get to 45, because I also think what we've seen from Notre Dame's second team offense is when you're putting the quote unquote second team offense in the game and you're putting like Kedron Young and Aeneas Williams and Gerby Lambert and Sullivan Absher and KK Smith and Jaden Harrison and Deion Colsey and guys like that. It's like, that's still a better unit than your starting unit on the team that you played against. I mean, I think that second team offense could have done some damage against Purdue last week, Ryan. I mean, they did. I think that's where I see it happening. So I'm going 45-9. I think the defense is really going to be the story. And I'm hoping that we're coming out of this game talking about Riley Leonard got the pass game going. If he gets the pass game going, I think it's going to be more than that. I do. I think it's going to be a 50-something point game if the pass game comes out going. So I'm not even predicting the pass game. I think the pass game is going to look like last week until they show me otherwise, right? That's where I'm at on it. And it's not just him. It's the pass pro. It's got to get better. The receivers got to get better. It's Riley Leonard is the quarterback, and there's things he's missing. But there's also been a lot of mistakes made by the offensive line in pass pro. There's been mistakes by the receivers. They got to put it all together. And if they can do that, then I think this offense is going to roll. And here's the thing. I think this second team is going to put points on the board every time they get on the field. I mean, you've got a backup quarterback who's literally started a bowl game where he scored 40 points. You've got very talented players in your second team, and your quote unquote talent on the second team might be better than the first team, especially at tackle. So that's where we're at. So Ryan, good stuff today, man. I appreciate it. It's great stuff as always. Ryan will be back on Saturday night for the post-game show with the team. So we'll get your thoughts on what we see. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about the things that we talked about today will come true, and we'll have some fun on that post-game show. So thanks for joining us, Ryan. Folks, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share this podcast, and give us a 5-star review. And if you've not done so, make sure you check out the boards at boards.irishbreakdown.com.